Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Invin. Today I am bringing you guys the top 10 things that you can use to improve your gameplay on Cold War instantly, and it's going to touch on multiplayer and league play, and there's also going to be some things that you can apply to Warzone as well. Before we jump into today's video, if you are new to the channel, make sure you go down below and press that big red subscribe button, turn the notification bells on so you don't miss an upload, and if you do going to enjoy the video, drop a like on this video, as that's much appreciated, and let me know in the comments which of these 10 tips was the most helpful to you. Now moving on to the first tip is going to be to use good classes. Using weapons that is actually going to get you the kill when you hit shots is really important. I've got class videos up on my channel for both multiplayer and Warzone, as well as league play specifically. So obviously you're going to want to use slightly different guns and weapons and setups than you are in league play than you would in normal multiplayer on Cold War. And this is because basically slightly different things are allowed. And so obviously you want to make sure you're using the right thing. Now time and time again I see a ton of players getting screwed over by this. They're using guns which are not really that great and hitting shots but not getting the kills, or using guns that are decent but not for the right situation. So you're going to want to make sure that you've got the right class on for the right situation and that you're actually using the guns that are going to do you well. Now obviously if you're going for camos, it's going to be slightly different. Just look up the best setup for that gun, and once you become a better player in Cold War multiplayer, you will probably be able to get a few kills every single game regardless of what you're using. But obviously optimizing those classes and optimizing those weapon loadouts is going to get you more kills. Now moving on to the second tip is take your time. So you don't need to always rush things and play aggressively. This is a tip that I need to take on board personally a lot more when I'm playing the game, as a lot of my teammates will probably reconcile for me. It's just about taking your time. Sometimes playing the game can get too quick and too aggressive. If you play anything like Counter-Strike or Valorant, you will notice that a lot of the time you need to just draw back that gameplay, wait for the enemies to make the first move, and then pick them off. And CoD can be like this, but in a much more fast-paced environment. So it might be that there's two people on the hard point and it's contested. You know the enemy's there, and instead of rushing them out and maybe dying to someone who's holding a cross, you can just let them push to you and get aggressive and get greedy with it, and you can get some easy kills and get a lot better IQ plays, which is going to get you ranked up if it is league play and obviously get you those wins. And if it's normal multiplayer, you're going to see a gameplay improve a ton, and this goes for holding angles or any other thing. Take your time a lot more with it than you think you need to, because how often do you walk around a corner and then somebody gets you? Guaranteed it's happened to you all. It's definitely happened to me multiple times per time I play, so definitely try and take your time more with shots and you will notice that things will go better for you. Tip number 3 is going to be to not overextend into spawn points. Now this is one of the most crucial things that I see even high level league play players doing very often, particularly on hardpoint. People will extend into the spawn to hold enemy players in a certain location, which is a great thing. But what you need to be aware of is if your team is spawning in the correct location, pushing too far to the opposite side of the map, even if you aren't pushing out the spawns, can give the enemies more room to flip the spawn points. And this is a really crucial thing, because in league play hardpoint, a lot of the time there'll be one enemy lurking in your spawn somewhere, maybe even hiding, maybe not challenging gunfights. But the second you push too far up, he's going to manage to spawn his teammates behind you. You're going to lose the hill, lose the spawn point, and it resets your team. So you need to be really aware of where you are stood. Holding your quarter of the map is going to bode you much better than it is pushing up. And if it's a respawn game mode like Control, for example, where the respawn points are fixed, that's also fine, but be aware you can still flip the spawn. So when you push right back, they won't flip to the other side of the map, but they will spawn out of region, which means they'll spawn further up the map, and that is obviously going to cause your team problems if you are holding to certain spawn points. So don't get overzealous, don't get over greedy, hold the points, but don't try and push in too much for those kills. Now number 4 leads nicely onto this one, which is using your minimap and having awareness of what is going on. Minimap's crucial because it'll show you red dots when people are shooting, it'll show you where your team is, and by that you can get a rough idea of where the enemies are going to be, as well as death markers and things like that, as well as obviously looking at the minimap to see literally where yourself and where the positions of your team are on the map, so that you can get a good crossfire setup if the communication is lacking. Now again, one thing you will notice above the red dots, there's an up arrow if the enemy is a floor above you, and a downward arrow if the enemy is a floor below you. Make sure you take advantage of this, try and work out where the enemies are, and take those picks as soon as they overextend, as it's going to be really useful. Now tip number 5 is going to be to take advantage of your weapon. If you're using an AR, you might want to play back a little bit more, you might want to go for picks, or you might want to set it up as a hybrid build so you've got the laser sight on there, you can push into objectives, snap on those kills, and you've also got the ability to hip fire if people do rush in with SMGs, so you can still win that gunfight. But it is about playing to the advantage of the weapon, so what you would rather do is sit on the back end towards your spawn point of that objective, play for the pick kills as people are coming in, hold the cross maybe, if you've got that SMG. Make sure you're pushing on, getting into those close quarters angles so the people with the snipers or with the ARs can't just pick you off. They've got to actually challenge you, where you then have the advantage. And that is what I mean by that. And that is what a ton of players don't do in Warzone, for example. A lot of players will play with a sniper but try and challenge. And unless you can get very good quick guns very accurately all of the time, you're probably going to want to rock an AR and an SMG. If you're rocking an AR and an SMG, though, you don't really want to be taking super long-range engagements. You know, if you've got a CRA match, you can maybe do 100, 200 meters. But if they're going further than that, you probably just want to get into amongst some buildings where they can push you more, so you've got that SMG to actually good use, because the chances are the enemy team will have some sort of sniper. And the same thing goes for Cold War multiplayer. Make sure you're using that weapon to draw the best out of it and make the enemies come to you, instead of them just running riot over you because you're using the gun in a wrong situation. Now, number 6 is try to fill each role, and this is kind of specific to league play, but does float into multiplayer as well. And what this means is, if there's 2 people using an SMG and 1 person sniping, maybe you want to hit out that AR so that someone is using that on your team. Or maybe everybody's trying to play AR picks, maybe you want to hit up that SMG so that you can play the objective. This works for objective game modes or normal multiplayer, but especially is very, very important in league play. And obviously the league play specific roles, obviously of your anchor, your main AR, your slayer, your support, your objective player, all that kind of stuff. Make sure all of those are filled every single game, and you will see yourself rank up quicker because it will work a lot smoother as a team. Number 7 is learning when to jump shot and drop shot. Now, this just literally comes from game knowledge and what you're more comfortable with doing. Personally, I prefer jump shotting, so anyone that comes against me in a game will see me doing a lot more jump shotting and very rarely drop shotting. However, I think it's easier to drop shot if you're on a controller than you are on PC, because with PC it seems to be easier for me at least to jump shot, so that's what I tend to lean towards, but you can do either or. And that leads nicely onto number 8, which is keeping the advantage. So this is if you've got the height advantage or you're on a head glitch, don't give that up just to challenge a greedy kill, particularly if it's a S&D mode where there's more than 1 player alive, or if you know that there's going to be multiple players in that area of the map. Don't just challenge things recklessly to get 1 kill when you could potentially stay in a good advantageous position and pick up multiple kills from that, lead up to getting your SPM up, your kill streaks up, which is really going to help in league play specifically to get you ranked up very, very quickly. Now, number 9 is keeping composure. This is one of the most important points, and it's keeping yourself in the game, staying in the game even when you're not doing well, and keeping your head focused, meaning that you're not going to start getting annoyed, you're not going to start getting upset, you're not going to start getting angry. You're just going to keep composure, keep playing how you normally would, calculated, risk-free, you know, making sure that you're getting those kills where you're going to be able to pick someone off and move on without getting traded. All that good stuff is what you still want to maintain, even when you're not playing your best, or even when the team is losing, because that is going to mean that you can get a comeback. It's going to mean that your score's going to go up, your kills are going to go up, your KD is going to be up. Everything is going to be better when you're doing that, because a lot of players get into this mindless habit of running at the enemy and dying over and over again, and that is really going to annoy you and your team, and you're going to lose more points, and you're probably going to get ranked up a lot less quicker. So definitely try and keep your composure. Watching any pro gameplay, particularly Scump, he talks about this a ton in all of his guides and videos. You definitely want to keep your composure as much as possible. And then the final tip here is playing for score. If everything goes, you know, not well, you can play for your score individually, and obviously this will help you in league play, particularly to get ranked up. In multiplayer games, you'll be able to get your streaks in. This is going to be really, really helpful, but also, even if things are going quite well, you do still want to get that streak up and go for your score streaks, because the higher the score you get per game, the quicker you get ranked up. So make sure you're playing for the score, make sure you're playing a little bit for yourself as well as for the team, and trying to keep on that rotation, but staying alive at the same time, which is really, really good, because it will mean the enemy team isn't getting streaks, and you are, which is really, really good, and gives you a huge advantage. Now, that is going to be it for this video. Hopefully it has helped some of you out. If it has, make sure you leave a like down below and let me know in the comments which one of these really resonates home with you. Like I said, for me, it's the second one. Take your time and maybe keep your composure as well. Both of those kind of hit home with me, but let me know which ones help you guys the most. If you are new to the channel, like I said before, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. We are uploading every single day, and we'd love to have you as part of the channel community here. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. Take care and peace.